Karoline Leavitt made a fascinating and kind of shocking announcement to the world that Trump is going to reclassify fentanyl. Now, before I tell you what it's going to be reclassified to, remember, all of our priorities should be reducing the damage that is being done to our country because of fentanyl, preventing people from dying from fentanyl overdoses. All that's super important. And what I'm going to demonstrate to you throughout the segment is that's not why Trump is doing this, even though that's what he likes people to believe is the reason, that he's just real serious about cracking down on drugs. There seems to be a different motive, i.e., military conflict in Venezuela. And that wouldn't serve reducing fentanyl getting in the United States in any significant way. So she posted this, and it feels like they're playing a sick joke on us. Now, President Trump announced he will classify fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. This is yet another action in President Trump's crackdown on fentanyl on behalf of every American who has lost a loved one to this deadly poison. So, again, right now, because of I'm going to circle back to the second. Hold in the mind that point, and I'm going to get back to it about how Trump's reallocation of resources actually undermining an effort to prevent fentanyl from getting the United States. But this is about conflict with Venezuela. That's what the drug strikes have been. Alleged drug boat strikes, war crime, shifting military resources into that region. There seems to be a push. It's very apparent, and Trump's saying it could happen at any point for military operations to start happening within Venezuela and to overthrow Nicolas Maduro, who is terrible. Doesn't mean we get to just go around and invade countries, though. We learned that before. And what's so crazy, which is blowing my mind, is that she used that they're reclassifying fentanyl, a drug, as a weapon of mass destruction. Is my shock because I don't think fentanyl is majorly destructive? No. But why are they using the exact same phrase that the Bush administration used to lie us into Iraq? Like, it feels like this is on purpose. Hey, you remember whenever the U.S. government said there was weapons of mass destruction for Iraq, we got to go overthrow Saddam Hussein? And then we did that, and it was a total calamity. And like everyone now, retrospectively, I think Bush in a speech went the illegal invasion of Iraq, and he meant to say Ukraine. And then he went, oh, I mean Ukraine. Well, Iraq too. Even Bush said that. So what was the justification? Weapons of mass destruction. Ended up being a false assertion. Wasn't true. But then we get caught up in this very long, deadly, resource expensive calamity because of weapons of mass destruction. And now, as we're afraid they're going to do an illegal military invasion or some sort of operation in Venezuela, as we're already seeing illegal military activity, it appears, with these boat strikes, they're saying we're going to classify the drug that we're saying is the purpose for all of those military activities in relation to Venezuela and why we need to overthrow Maduro, despite that not being the primary cause of the fentanyl problem at all. We're going to call it weapons of mass destruction. Is this on purpose? Because I thought that we can't get fooled again.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Apparently, we are getting fooled again, or they're trying to fool us again. We're going to do this again? Weapons of mass destruction. Now, because it's weapon of mass destruction, that justifies any military action against Venezuela. This is why we have to go overthrow Maduro, despite our track record with such activities. President Trump on Monday signed an executive order to designate fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. So many people are drawing the parallels, obviously. What? There's no way. They're just putting it in our face. Now, remember, there's little doubt that fentanyl is exceptionally dangerous, but lawmakers and narcotics experts say that Trump administration's efforts to tie Venezuela to the U.S. fentanyl crisis are misleading. For one, the fentanyl used illegally in the United States does not come from Venezuela. That's not the major problem. And so then the goal must not actually be in relation to fentanyl, but instead a strong motive for regime change, I guess, in Venezuela. And however much Maduro's terrible, that is not our call. if the Venezuelan people are sick of Maduro doing you remember he posted a video being like, don't worry, be happy, as he's talking about a U.S. military invasion, then that's their business. Did we not learn the last time we were using weapons of mass destruction as an excuse? You're reminding us about the thing that you're saying we shouldn't be concerned about, which is what something like this could lead to. A total disaster. War with Venezuela. Why? Because fentanyl. What is that? Weapons of mass destruction now. Wait, what? I thought we learned our lesson with that. Okay, then something I've been referencing a lot. Here's a New York Times report. The newly disclosed data reveals the extent of the change under HSI, which is part of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, but generally focuses on criminal investigations involving threats like financial fraud, drug smuggling, and sex trafficking, not civil immigration violations. But now so much is being shifted to immigration to grab up Leavitt's nephew's mom, who poses no threat, or a college girl on her way home from college. Both dreamers who were here since they were children, didn't come in illegally by any choice of their own. We're going to allocate so many resources to going after those people that now we're not actually enforcing and preventing drug trafficking like we were before. A huge drop in prosecutions on that front because so much is being directed towards juicing up the numbers with random people who aren't even public safety threats, or they don't have a record or anything like that. So New York Times also confirmed that reporting that originally came out from Reuters. You have Pete Hegseth fuming, having a meltdown at quote-unquote pussy advisor for pushing back on the potential legality of these strikes. Hegseth, who has faced war crime allegations for a September boat strike that killed 2 survivors of an initial strike on an alleged Venezuelan drug boat, reportedly called one advisor who raised concerns and memos about the airstrikes, like many people have, a pussy. That's what he called him during a meeting in which the advisor was not present. Hegseth allegedly called another advisor who questioned the legality of the strikes weak several times during 2 meetings. That does remind me, that's just such a crazy, all right, the legality is the important part, but just one thing, I think it was, I can't remember which comedian. There's some comedian that made the joke of, it's crazy we use that as a derogatory. Have you seen what those things can do? I mean, in so many contexts, birth being one, and they can go back to regular factory usage. It's crazy we use that as a derogatory. There's probably nothing that's more societally, humanitarially, physically powerful. People go to war over them. People kill people over them. I don't know if pussy is an insult. And so, as this comedian said, it should be used as a compliment. And maybe that's how Hegseth was using it, and really he understood the importance of this advisor raising concerns about the illegality of their actions, is one take you could have. No. So you've been having retribution brought upon anyone within the Pentagon who expresses frustration with what the military is currently doing under the command of Trump. This is a miscellaneous clip, but can we just be honest? His point here, Newsom, is absolutely correct. Something was funny about how he said this.
Whoever the next president needs to be prepared. We can't keep this up. We're polarized. We're traumatized. We're exhausted. I can't even conceive of 3 more years of this. It really is. I mean, what's happening to our kids? Their brains are already being scrambled by social media and everything else we didn't even talk about. But this is their role model? A guy who calls someone a retard? A guy who calls someone a piggy? This is our role model, the President of the United States?
That's iconic. Can I be honest? Serious point. Iconic. He whispered the second half of the word. I mean, I'm too much of a P word to say the R word, but I love how he went, I'm going to say it, because what are we doing? You could at least say it to articulate what it was that Trump said, but then he whispered the second half. It's just iconic. I forgot about that. This is a Newsom soundbite. LGBT movie. Now you have Alex Jones melting down over the state of things with, I guess, a commenter mad at him for his coverage of the Trump Epstein stuff, and Trump saying, or Alex Jones is saying, it is a hoax. It's a hoax that Democrats are pretending to care about it, but it's not a hoax that Epstein is a real story or real victims. And watch where this rant led.
Lady Erica C47, I warned Trump, and I was right. I wasn't trying to dunk on Trump to act holier than thou. I was trying to get him course correct because he's the ship I'm on, and if he goes down, we have all got a big problem, Cupcake. You know what skin in the game is, sweetheart? You got people trying to put you in prison and kill you? No, you don't. I'm not mad at you. I'm just in general, all you people are not on the front lines of this war for decade after decade after decade trying to save humanity.
You're not out on the front line of any war. Oh my gosh. So sick of this. I don't ever say that to you all. I say I'm fighting for things, fighting in the figurative sense. I say that I am advocating for things. I'm never like, you all don't understand what it's like to be the front lines of this war. I mean, aside from when I literally went to the front lines of a war, but that was different. That was like a real war. But I wasn't fighting. I was just there. But here, people do this. They're like, it's exhausting being the tip of the spear of a I can't think of it, but can't think of it. I don't know. You get it. I don't say that. That's the point. Let's keep listening.
And then you always misrepresent everything to make yourself feel powerful. That's pathetic. You need to grow up. You need to get right with God.
Get right with God.
There's that.
I gotta do that more often. That is powerful. All right. That's the show. You see, I have lots of papers, which means I had to think a lot about what I'm saying here. Yeah, we covered it all. That's it. Get right with God.